Welcome everyone to the channel. I am Leanne, your host, and if you've been here before, well, you know the drill. Pull up a seat, sit down. Literally. If you haven't been here before, well, the drill is still the same. You pull up a seat, you sit down, and you listen to me blab. This is a spoiler review for Magic to the Bone by Devin Monk in a series that's called Ali Beckstrom. Or an Ali Beckstrom novel. It is the first one in the series. So, here we are. Everything has a cost, and every act of magic exacts a price from its user. Maybe a 2-day migraine or losing the memory of your first kiss, but some people want to use magic without paying, and they offload the cost onto innocence. When that happens, it falls to a hound who identifies the spells faster, and Alison Ekstrom's the best there is. Daughter of a prominent Portland businessman, Allie would rather moonlight as a hound than accept the family fortune and the strings that come with it. But when she discovers a little boy dying from a magic offload that has her father's signature all over it, Allie is thrown into the high-stakes world of corporate espionage and black magic. Now Allie's out for the truth and must call upon forces that will challenge everything she knows, change her ways she could never imagine, and make her capable of things that powerful people will do anything to control. So basically, Alison Beckstrom, or Allie as she likes to be called, is what they call a hound. Somebody who uses magic to see the signature of the person who did the magic. So basically, everybody has their own permanent signature in magic. And so every time they use magic, that signature is left behind. So if you're going to offload your magic so that way you don't get the consequences for it, because magic gives you consequences in this series, it will leave that signature wherever the offload happens, usually on people, mainly on people, because that's who needs to pay the price. So their job is to hunt them down and bring them to justice. That's what a hound is. So magic actually takes Allie's memory a lot of the time when she uses a huge chunk of it. Or when she uses a small amount of it, it doesn't really matter. Magic still takes it, but she still loses time. But she can get flashes of magic in the future and everything of what she had done in the past. She's like, oh, I have flashes of this, I have flashes of that, but I can't pull all the memory together because it's just gone. So basically what happened is that she hounded a little boy that had the offload magic of her father. So she went and confronted her father, and her father denied it, and she used blood magic to see if he was lying, and it said he wasn't. And she's like, I don't know how you were lying, but I know you're lying because I hounded it. So she needs to figure that out. The day after she visited her father ends up dead, and seeing as how the last two to see her father was a guy named Xavier Jones and Allie Beckstrom. They think it's Allie because it left her magical signature on her father, saying that she's the one that did it, even though she was sleeping at Mama's house, and that's all there is to it. So on the run from a hound, she comes across, in the garbage stinking area of the world, a man that is on the verge of death. His name is Cody. So when she goes to heal him, because he's like, use magic to heal me, she's like, okay. So she tries, and so Cody takes her magic from her and uses it himself to heal. So he heals because he used her, and what it does is it leaves behind marks. So she's got marks up her right arm and marks up her left arm, one hot, one cold. So the intricate designs that you can see on her arm here are what's left behind from the magic. Both sides have intricate designs for it, so every time now she uses magic, it uses it through those tattoos that are permanent magic tattoos she'll never be able to get rid of. In her escape, she goes to her friend Nola's house, and Nola helps her out, sort things through, and they decide to go confront somebody about some stuff, and through all of that, she's being hunted. So she eventually gets captured by somebody, and that person brings him to the bad guy. The bad guy. And a lot of stuff goes down. She finds out that the bad guy wants just her money, her company that she inherited from her father. And she's like, no, do it through the legal means. And when she starts using magic, the guy, Xavier Jones, whom she's connected with in a very deep, illogical way, gets in the way of a bullet and he gets it to the head. So she somehow freezes time and heals Xavier Jones from the bullet wound to his head. This ends up with her in a coma. Okay? Now she's in love with Xavier Jones because he's been helping her out since she had a little boy. And it's like, I love you now, after days. But she wakes up from the coma and Xavier Jones is like, I'm trying to distance myself from you because my life is dangerous and I don't want you involved because I want you safe in company. And she's like, I may not remember you or how I fell in love with you, but I want you, so I'm going to give you a chance. I don't care, basically. And that's the end of the novel for her. Mama Rosita, who is basically just called Mama by a lot of the people, runs a restaurant in a part of Portland that has no magic. And it's very seedy and dangerous to go down into that area. She actually takes in orphan boys and raises them. She only ever calls them boy. So she's got like 2 adult boys that are boy and a little young boy who's in school called boy. She doesn't really use names for them. She called Allie, which is what sparked everything because it's Allie's birthday. She was going to go out and celebrate. And tells Allie that you need to come hound because boy is sick and boy needs to get better. So she goes, she hounds. She says, Mama, you need to get him to the hospital. I will go find the man who did this. And I'll get everything situated. The boy survives, by the way. It turns out it was her oldest son that had come back, and he's the reason why boy was offloaded with a lot of magic. He's also the one who killed Allie's father, made it look like her. He's the one orchestrating all of it. So he wants to use his mother to take control of Beckstrom Enterprises. So he wants Allie to sign over her shares, which is 54% of the shares of Beckstrom Enterprises, to his mother. So most likely she'll sign it over to him and he gets it. That's the whole thing with Mama. Mama Rosita also holds all the magic locked down with a ward in her area inside of herself. So it seems like there's no magic in the Portland area that she's in, because she holds it all under lock and key to make it look that way. Now we don't know why, but we just know Allie knows this because she can see Mama Rosita's magic after all that stuff went down and she's got her cool tattoos that she didn't want. The only boy who matters is the youngest one that was hit with magic. He large amount of magic that was killing him. He would have died if Xavier Jones had not called the ambulance. Because he called the ambulance, the boy survived and he became healthy and went back to school. Mama was not going to call the ambulance nor the adult police because obviously the part of town that she lives in, it's non-trusting. The only person she trusted at that time was Allie. But now that her son had done bad things and she had to put her son in jail, her oldest son, James, in jail, she's like, you don't belong here no more, Allie. Go away. You find where you belong, but you don't belong here. So I don't know if that's the last we'll see of Mama Rosita, but that's where we are at right now. Nola is Allie's best friend. You don't get nothing else besides the fact that her name is Nola. You don't get her last name. You don't actually get nothing else. She owns a farm in the country that does not have any magic. And the only reason why she owns it is because her husband, who's passed away, was the one that owned it. And she inherited it. She helps Allie out all the time, sending her money to make her come out and visit her. To help her out, ease her financial worries. Because even though Allie is rich, she doesn't use none of her richness she uses what she gets from hounding jobs to go by day while she lived in the shitty part of town. And that. Nola's farm is where Allie with Xavier Jones and Cody go when Allie's on the run because the police believe she killed her father. There they learn some things from Cody and then watch as Cody gets kidnapped. So basically Cody confesses that he was there when Allie's father died. He knows who did it. He also knows how it was done, how her signature was on it. But his childlike mind, because it's fractured, doesn't let him communicate the proper way. So something bad really happened to Cody, and it fractured his mind, and it made him have a child persona and his adult persona. But since his mind's so fractured in that his child persona has majority of the time, and his adult persona does not come out very often, but it does give him hints on how to survive while he's trapped by the bad man, the snake man, as he calls him. And he's the reason why Cody survived is because the man knew magic to make it look like he died that prevented him from actually dying. It's not clear what Cody actually did or what his older version did, but it's very powerful and very unique magic. So Nola actually wants custody of Cody because she thinks her farm will be the best place for him. That he'll be able to stay away from magic, be stress-free, be with his little kitten that he loves, and maybe heal his fractured mind where he can be a normal adult again. Daniel Beckstrom was a shrewd businessman that cheated his partner, Perry Huskill, out of a patent for something called the storm rods, which take magic from storms, in order to gain more money, because that's all he really cared about was being the top of everything. He wanted his daughter to join Beckstrom Enterprises and says, "You always have a place here. Just tell me when you want to come in and we'll get you situated." He was killed by a man that was using Allie's magical signature in order to frame her. He wasn't a good guy, but he wasn't necessarily the bad guy in this. He was just a victim because the man also may look like Daniel Beckstrom was the one who put the hit on the boy when he wasn't. It was somebody else who used Cody to do it, because Cody can do that, which we'll get more into when we get to Cody. Xavier Jones was hired by Daniel Beckstrom to follow Allie around for a year in order to keep her safe and report back to Daniel. He actually worked with and for Violet Beckstrom for many years, along with other people. His job is actually a mystery because it's not said what his job is. He falls in love with Allie but doesn't believe they can be together because of his job and how dangerous he thinks it is. He tried to back away from the relationship, but even without memory, Allie wanted to give him a try. And of course, he can't resist. She's talked about being a very beautiful woman, and he's talked about being a very handsome man. And, opposite attraction. What can you do? Attraction, right? So, you get, the next one is Bonnie Sherman. She was a hound that was sent by someone, you'll find out soon, to pick Allie up and bring her to them. She went to the police and told them that it was Allie that killed her own father because she hounded a hit, and several others hounds did, and it was all the same thing. She has stolen magic discs. That was new technology that held magic within these discs that would allow you to use magic without an offload present, which means no bruises, no headaches, no memory loss, no offloads to innocent people. And she used it to transport herself to Nola's farm to kidnap Cody because Snake Man, who she works for, wanted him back after learning that Cody was still alive. And they left the same way. Nothing else is said about what happened to her at the end of the book, whether after she caught Xavier Jones, whatever happened. We don't know what happened to Bonnie, because Allie doesn't know. Violet Beckstrom is around the same age as Allie and was married to Daniel Beckstrom, who is significantly older, but women fall in love with older men all the time. She had loved the man and was torn up about his death, so no, she didn't form the hit to take over the money because she got 1% of the share, like all of the rest of his wives did, like a quarter. I think she said a quarter of it, actually. So the other women got, all the other ex-wives got a quarter of his share as well, but she got her own quarter. I guess because she was the one currently married to him. She was also someone that did research on magic. That was what drew Daniel to her in the first place. It was her magic disc that had been stolen, but they had thought that this had actually burned up in a fire that happened at one of her research labs. She didn't know they were stolen. And she don't even know how many were stolen. James Huskell is Mama Rosita's oldest son and the son of Perry Huskell that was cheated out of a patent by Daniel Beckstrom. He concocted a scheme to force Allie to hand over her shares to Beckstrom Enterprises by pinning her father's death on her. He was the one that killed him. And he was the one that wanted power for others. So he's part of a group that wants war, to get rid of all the laws that prevent people from using magic the way they want to. Because obviously, bad people want to sit there and offset their magic to innocence so they can continue performing magic without any of the backfire. Because in this world, magic uses you after you use it. So you want to warm up your coffee? You might get bruises. You want to power your house? You might be broken bones, forgotten memories. Whatever it takes from you, it will take. And it can be quick things or things that linger, like a broken bone, or a headache that'll last weeks, or nausea for a month, whatever. And most people could cast a dispersal magic, which would allow them to choose what consequences they would get from performing the magic that they're about to perform. And he wanted people to be free to do whatever they wanted. He was one of them. So he's actually been put in prison because Mama and Cody confessed he was the one that did it, that he was the one who killed Daniel Beckstrom and made it look like Allie. And so that freed Allie from, after she got out of her coma, from being a wanted woman and arrested. Cody, we don't get a last name. He was a very smart person that could copy someone's signature completely so that no one could tell it was a fake. Because most people who copy signatures still left a little bit of their own signature in it, so that was what made him know it was fake. But he could do it flawlessly, where there would be no question on whether or not it was fake or not. They would know, they would believe it was real, even though it was fake. Something happened that traumatized him, as he fell into the wrong crowd and gambled a lot of stuff away, to the point that his mind fractured. His mentality became childlike with a few sporadic adult episodes. He was used by James, his snake man, to hurt and kill people using different signatures. James actually tried to kill Cody, but Cody's adult mind knew how to make it look like he died, but hadn't. He also became attached to a kitten that James had given him to make Cody copy Allie Beckstrom's magical signature. He survived that, and he survived the second kidnapping because James is like, I want to know how you survived. I want to know how, when I thought I killed you, you didn't die. So I'm going to keep you until we figure that shit out. That's the way that is. My favorite character was Cody. He didn't want to do bad things. He just didn't have a choice in the matter because his mind was broken and he couldn't fight back properly from it. And there was more bad people involved, which we don't get to meet. But we know war is coming because somebody told Allie that after she has no memories of anything. My most disliked character was James, for using magic to kill people and hurt others to get what he wants. Dude, that's uncool. I understand that you want money and compensation and the patent for these storm rods that you, your father, and Daniel Beckstrom came up with, and your father was ripped out of because Daniel Beckstrom is a very mean person and evil in that regards, come to financial money. But still, there's no reason to hurt people, even your own mama's little boy. Maybe not her biological son, but still somebody that she raises and cares about. Evil, evil. What stood out as memorable? The magic system stood out the most. It used you as much as you used it. I would never want to live in this world. Ever. My favorite passage from the story is, it was a flash, a slice of heart. Bonnie and Cody were there. Lightning struck. Bonnie and Cody were not there. well, we're gone. So there is that. Magic is very interesting, but I couldn't find any other passage that I liked. It was interesting how it frazzled Allie's mind in like, how in the hell did they do that? I don't know, were they there, but now gone. My favorite quote, you use magic, it uses you, and I've been magic's bitch for a long time. Because that's what Allie thinks she is. But it might be because she's able to conduct magic and hold magic within her body, and so far nobody else can. Because magic can only be discovered 30 years ago, and she's only 20? 24? I know it tells you what her is. 25th. She's only 25 when this series begins. So it was discovered 5 years before she was even born. What I thought about the ending of the book. I think it's messed up that Ellie doesn't remember anything that happened in the book at all. It started out on her birthday and she woke up from a coma 3 weeks later thinking it was her birthday. And it's kind of fucked up. Even though she does get the guy in the end, it's still fucked up that she doesn't remember anything of the struggle that she had during the whole book. What book did it remind me of? Nothing as far as I can think of at the time of writing this review, and still can't think of anything. The book, as you know, is part of a series called Allie Beckstrom, and there are 9 books in the series, and this is the first one in it, which means I have 8 more books to read. Hopefully, one day we'll be done. I rate this 3 because of how Allie, who was supposed to be a badass hound, turned out to be a weak hound. She had a lot of complications and a lot of problems, and she struggled a lot in the book to do anything. Most of the time, it was her on the run and dealing with magical backlash to the point where it knocks her unconscious, makes her weak, makes her sick. I hope she grows into her powers because she's supposed to have badass powers. So make her grow into them. So if you think I deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely subscription, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.